Happy Wednesday. We're going to have a bit of an adventure today because I have a different kind of a poetry book. This is The Hollow of the Hand by P.J. Harvey and Shamus Murphy. Now notice something. Here's the cover. When I first looked at it, I just thought it was an artistic expression. We're going to explore a little bit further into today's program what it really is. Things are not always as they appear to be. That was the back, the spine, the front cover. We'll explore just what it is. This is a fascinating combination of talents. P.J. Harvey is known to some as in the musical world, and Shamus Murphy is a photographer of note, and together they traveled. They went to a number of different places, and we're going to follow with them, one of which was Kosovo. One wrote, one took pictures, and they're not necessarily photographs that illustrate the precise nature of the poem, but more what the area was like that inspired the poem. So now, from Kosovo. On a dirt road, we drove up the mountain, turned off the engine, climbed through a barricade, and walked toward the village through 1,000 fallen plums, the purple, black flesh pushing out of their open skins, darkening the road. And another verbal observation coming up. Pity for the old road. There was a beautiful old road, trees on both sides, but they put the trees away and they built the houses. Pity for the old road and for the trees, and on the right and the left side. In my childhood, we were taking this road always to go down by the river and to love swimming and coming back late in the evening. I still have the sea and the trees. I am recognizing that a lot of time has passed through since I left. Some things are never going to come back again. And not that it's making me sad. It's quite a normal process. But it's giving a bit of a feeling. And now for some photographs. And remember, I did say the poems and the images were as a result of a trip to Kosovo. Look at this photograph. It spreads over 2 pages. What I thought was an artful design was so-called artful. It was upending flames. Look at what appears on the cover that appears to be an artist's decision to put a little something in a corner. See from the cover? It actually is a piece of flaming material. There's the ghost of a photograph on the wall of what I'm assuming is an apartment. And if you could but flip the cover over a little bit further, you would see the hint that they're keeping from you. The charred frame, exterior frame. Have they really kept it from you? No, if you're an observant reader and look at your books carefully, you'll see in the margin of the flip side what it is actually framing, that charred remains. Look carefully at this photograph. It's a young boy standing in front of, obviously, an apartment building that is on flame. But look carefully at his feet. He's got on a roller skater on one side, none on the other. What is that about? Could he not afford a pair? Did he not have the other pair? Was it lost in battle? Can you see how asking a photograph to talk to you can lead to many, many questions? A few more. Oh, I love this one. Now, I'm not up on my Christian iconography, but blue is the color of the Virgin Mary. Notice, there are three figures here. I'm assuming the center one with the halo is the Virgin Mary, and there are two women beside her. Look at that picture. That's an historic picture, a mural from a wall. Down below it, we have the present. Three women, babushkas, covered, moving somewhere, part of a service. It's a very, very atmospheric photograph that talks to spirituality, that talks to reality, the three older women. Oh, it's not nice to love something that's actually tragic, but I can't help myself. Look, Kosovo, obviously a grocery store. There's a cow in it. Now, how did that happen? Look up in the corner where my finger is kind of bumping along. There's a Coca-Cola sign. How American can you get? Several photographs here I love. This could almost be a Renaissance era portrait, that wonderful face of the girl. This is obviously a visual metaphor. We all know what benches are. Benches are for sitting. But what if the two stanchions are there and the boards that create the seat and the back aren't? That says a lot of what has happened in Kosovo. Will the stories be told? From whence will the stories be told? And now we're going to travel. We're going to Afghanistan. Can you see how they really guide us, this photographer and the poet? The guest room. One gray dove circles the ruins. A jet heads to the base. A boy sings to the bird. He carries a blue gas canister. Where shall I go? I have no home. I had a place. But guests came, and they remained. Where shall I go? He leads us through the village. One cockerel, a pile of shoes outside a curtained door. We sit on orange cushions. Children bring us tea and bread. I wish we had brought gifts. I hope we know when to leave. The boy speaks, follow me. through the road old city streets. You follow him past the tents through the fog and excrement. Smile at him. He smiles back, leads you past wooden shacks and open gutters. Don't fall in. Put your feet in his footprints. Bullet holes in the walls form a map of the world. Giant door with the key. Boy turns. Follow me. Young boy, in your face every loss I can trace. Follow you. Enter in. Put my feet in your footprints. Talking to dog. The king of his domain, a watchful silhouette. Beside the palace walls, a phantom at sunset. The dog I climbed to meet was one of many strays you see walking on the streets. This is what the dog says. I saw this city built 2,000 years ago. I've seen the foreigners come, I've seen the foreigners go. I saw the troops arrive and start a tug of war. I saw a border drawn which killed 10,000 more. Oh, I saw this palace built. I counted every stone. And I will be here still long after you have gone. And now some photographs. This one I cherish. Look at the donkey. Look at his eyes. Look at the hand of the man touching him. Interesting, in the upper corner here, there is what looks like a tank and what looks like the rear end of a goat, I think, but I'm not too sure. But they're on the land, the tank and the goat. Which one belongs? I particularly was moved by this photograph. It's just graffiti on a wall. Folks, travel with me to the caves in Lascaux. Think about the primitive, primordial cave dwellers who scratched images of what they saw or what they believed, who knows, on the walls of the caves. These drawings are so similar. But look at that. A tank. Didn't we see a photograph of a real tank? An animal. Could be a cow. Could be a goat, for all I know. But can you see how maybe we should look at more walls to figure out what's happening in the real world? Oh, and just look at that little boy's face. What is there not to love? Doesn't matter what his color is, what his nationality is, doesn't matter anything. He is the essence of boy. And what is he doing? He's clutching a book. Oh, this one I love. Did I not read to you about the dog who knew all of history? Look at that photograph. There is a street. On either side are unoccupied buildings. Oh, unoccupied? Hardly. There are dogs of every color, dogs of every description, wandering up those streets, doing what dogs do. And interestingly, we're rounding out our journey, Kosovo, Afghanistan, and now Washington, D.C. African Voices. This is from the National Museum of Natural History. Between the Ice Age and the ocean, one small room display. It's quiet here. There is a coffin from Ghana in the shape of a KLM jet. Oh, and a gold-weighing kit of tiny brass objects. A European caravan, a chief's chair. A 14-year-old boy from Rwanda has made a Conestoga wagon out of wire, cardboard, and wood. At the front of the wagon is an American cowboy with a black mustache and stubble, a red, white, and blue tin hat. He whips a mule. An identical cowboy rides at the back of the wagon, holding a gun made out of tape and wire, as big as the man. On the corner of First and D, those are streets in Washington, one old man is saying 3 words, reaching out like he wants to gather good. His white stick taps the ground forever, above the rooftops. A solitary dove sings 3 notes over and over. Spare some change? Spare some change? Over the roof of the shopping mall? Spare some change? Over the roof of the government building? Over the roof of the Supreme Court? The earth yawns and turns its face a millimeter. The moon holds up an empty plate above the corner of First and D, above the gathering of men and women. Throwing nothing. At the refreshment stand near the Vietnam Memorial, a boy throws out his hands as if to feed the starlings. But he's throwing nothing. It's just to watch them jump. 3 long notes sound on a bugle, and a man in overalls arrives to empty the trash. He hauls it to a metal hatch, which opens to the underworld. An alarm bell yammers. The boy throws out his empty hands. And the starlings jump. Wow. Look at the escalator. Look at the shoes. Where is she going? Where has she been? We know she's in Washington, D.C. I just love this. Washington, think cherry blossoms. Look at that little girl, her silhouette against literally a snow of blossoms. What an incredible vision. And this final photograph, well, maybe I won't show it to you because I can't seem to. Oh, I did find it. Look carefully at that. Oh, what's Ron doing, showing us a picture of a woman with hands outreached? Look at this, please, a little more carefully. Her beautiful hands are grasping a tambourine. Look at how her hands reach out. Look at the image that's on the tambourine. If you choose to look carefully, there are metaphors for religious beliefs. for integrity, for honesty, for all sorts of things, right there in the hands of the woman who's holding the tambourine. Now, I will tell you something. There's only one copy of this book at Story and Song, and I have shown inordinate discretion in not purchasing it because I really would like it. But it's there for you. Now, briefly, I do want to read something else that I found, which is absolutely spectacular. And we're going to be testing my abilities severely in this one. French love poems. Very small book of very large concept. On one side are the poems en français, in French. On the other side is a translation. And I, woe betide you, am going to try to read the French side and the English translation. Fasten your seatbelts. This could get ugly. Paul Éluard, who was born in 1895, passed in 1952, wrote, Couvre-feu. Que voulez-vous, la porte était gardée? Que voulez-vous, nous étions enfermés? Que voulez-vous, la rue était barrée? Que voulez-vous, la vieille était matée? Que voulez-vous, elle était enfermée? Que voulez-vous, nous étions désarmés? Que voulez-vous, la nuit était tombe? Que voulez-vous, nous nous sommes aimés? Couvre-feu, curfew. So, what the door was guarded? So what we were imprisoned there? So what the street was barred off? So what the town was under attack? So what she was famished? So what we were without arms? So what the night had fallen? So what we made love. That was translated by William Carlos Williams. From Jean Joubert, who was born in 1928, passed in 2015. Ou de lune, l'œil aiguisé par ton visage, j'ai vu au soir la mer violette, l'appel des feux, puis d'eau, de lune. Moon, water. With eyes made keen by watching your face, I've seen at dusk the sea, violet, the beckoning points of light. Then, moon water. Oh, de lune. Alicante. Une orange sur la table, ta robe sur le tapis, et toi dans mon lit, du présent de le présent, fraîcheur de la nuit, chaleur de ma vie. Alicante. An orange on the table, your dress on the rug, and you in my bed, sweet present of the present, cool of night, warmth of my life. Lawrence Ferlinghetti translated that one. Guillaume Apollinaire, from 1880 and he passed in 1918. Le Pont Mirabeau. Pont, from the childhood song you may remember, Sur le Pont d'Avignon, bridge, pont, that's what that means. Sur le Pont Mirabeau couple la Seine, et nos amours, faut-il qu'ils me souviennent, la vie venait toujours après la peine. Vienne la nuit, sonne l'heure, les jours s'en vont, je demeure. Les mains dans les mains, restons face à face, tandis que sur le pont de nos bras passent des éternels regards longs et si las. Vienne la nuit, sonne l'heure, les jours s'en vont, je demeure. L'amour s'en va comme cette eau courant, l'amour s'en va comme la vie est lente et comme l'espérance est violente. Vienne la nuit, sonne l'heure, les jours s'en vont, je demeure. The translation. Under the Pont Mirabeau flows the Seine. Our loves flow too. Must it recall them, so joy came to us always after pain? May night come, and the hours ring, the days go by, and I remain facing each other hand in hand. Thus we will stand, while under our arms' bridge our longing looks pass in weary band. May night come, and the hours ring, the days go by, and I remain. Love leaves us like this flowing stream. Love flows away, how slow life is, and mild. And oh, how hope can suddenly run wild. May night come, and the hours ring, the days go by, and I remain. And finally, from Robert Desnos, who was born at the turn of not this century, but the one preceding, 1900. He lived until 1945. J'ai tant rêvé de toi, meaning it's from a longer poem he wrote. J'ai tant rêvé de toi, ton marché parlé, couché, avec ton fantôme qu'il me ne reste plus être, et pourtant qu'être fantôme parmi les fantômes, et plus ombre sans foi qui l'ombre, qui se promène et se promènera allègrement sur le cadran solaire de ta vie. From, I have dreamed so much of you. I have dreamed so much of you. Walked so often, talked so often with you. Loved your shadow so much. Nothing is left me of you. Nothing is left of me but a shadow among shadows, a being 100 times more shadowy than a shadow. A shadowy being who comes and comes again in your sunlit life. Treasures big and small in all these books. Take a look at this one. It awaits your pleasure at Story and Song. And I hope to see you all on Friday for a session with prose that's going to open some doorways for you. Thanks for coming.